Hey out there, Eric, DeFi IoT. Today let's talk a little bit about Ethereum and these recent approvals of these EFTs. Ethereum price heads towards 5K, while whales inject just around $2 billion in the last 5 days since the approval of the ETFs. Let's break that down a little bit. I'm going to read this article from FX Empire. And not that this is a very reliable source, but I think the point that it's trying to make here on Ethereum is a good point. Here's where I want to go with this. I want to talk a little bit about why have we seen this huge pump in Ethereum as we did see in Bitcoin, right? And what kind of money has been dumped into the ETFs in Bitcoin in the last, 5 months or so since it's been approved. What this means for Ethereum, and will Ethereum do the same thing that Bitcoin did? Well, let's jump into that by reading this article here a little bit, and then I want to talk for a few minutes on what I think is going to take place from just the fact of what's going on with Ethereum right now. Okay, let's jump into this a little bit. Ethereum price surged above 3,800 twice in the last 48 hours as bullish investors front-run influx of funds into the newly approved ETF spots, the spot ETFs, right? On-chain data analysis explores how whale investors are positioned for the next market phase. On May 23rd, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission approved spot Ethereum ETFs. We all know that. For trading in the United States regulated market, sending a seismic shockwaves across the crypto markets over the last week. After the initial 29% 3-day rally to a 40-day peak of 39.45, ETH price briefly retraced towards 35.56 level after the SEC official verdict on May 23rd, as the swing traders capitalized on the market euphoria to book early profits. Now you saw a lot of that. You saw this take off a little bit and then come back down. Now my understanding too that these ETFs are going to roll out, kind of like Bitcoin's did, right? But pay attention to this and look what happened to Bitcoin and see if you think it's going to do the same thing for Ethereum or not. Now, while I'm talking here, please put your comments down below. I want to try to get more of a, hey, this is what we got going on. I got to revamp this. I want to revamp a little bit the channel of our focus so that we can stay going forward with people who want to come back and watch these videos and have them more educational so we can get things out into the algorithms. It's going to take us, honestly, probably another year for our studios actually done, just because of things that have come up and with the economy and inflation and so forth, kind of throwing our plans for our schedule we had. However, back to this. Ethereum. Bulls regained a foothold of the Ethereum markets at the weekend, with ETH price surging 9% this weekend to reclaim 3,850 territory at the time of the writing on May 26th. Okay, the resurgent Ethereum price rally can be attributed to a widespread expectation that ETH ETFs will receive billions of inflows as they head into the first full week of this now approved trading. Notably, the 10-month approved Bitcoin ETFs have accumulated over $58 billion worth of BTC holdings within 5 months from the official launch in January. So I'm sorry, the 10 approved Bitcoin ETFs, not 10 months. Wait, it's not 10 months, it only meant 5 months. But the 10 approved ETFs have accumulated $58 billion worth in 5 months since January, right, since approval. Now, the question is, do you think Ethereum is going to do that same thing? I will comment a little bit later on what I feel is going to happen just from being in this every day and watching things that take place every now and then. There's people out there that are probably much more experienced than I am. So please put your comments down below while you're down there. Do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. And subscribe to the channel. We need to really grow this channel again. We got suspended a long time from YouTube. They recently just demonetized us because they only gave us like 30 days to come back. Never told us. So we're trying to get this channel back again. In the meantime, while our studio's being built, bear with us. Hang with us. Watch the videos. Play them in the background, listen to what we're doing, talking about. I'm trying to give you informed news to keep you up to date, and things also be educational and have something for kids in here too. So we have in 5 month period of time, $10 billion worth of assets rolling into Bitcoin from these ETFs, these spot ETFs. Now, am I really in favor of all these institutional investors jumping into Bitcoin and jumping into Ethereum? Absolutely not. However, they're going to do it, and they're going to try to take control of it because that's just who they are. I'm sorry, look at the characters characteristics of these that are now buying legally Bitcoin and now Ethereum, such as BlackRock. Not somebody who I really want in our community that's trustworthy, right? I think most of you feel the same way. What are they going to do? Try to do to it later? Trying to manipulate it, to fork it? I think down the road we're probably going to have, my personal opinion, there's going to be 2 Bitcoins. I mean, kind of like we already had, it would be 3 actually if you want to, right? So I think there'll be a fork that'll go off on more of a regulated, centralized BTC, and the other will be maintained by its mining. Now, that being said, you're starting to see countries such as Venezuela make mining power illegal. And I'm very, very, very convinced you're going to start seeing that in certain states in the United States of America as well as other countries. So you're going to see everybody concentrate to these countries such as El Salvador and countries that are allowing, have already approved Bitcoin mining. Even in South America, you can go even down into a few countries that have legalized and are now legalizing the mining of Bitcoin. And in Central America, there's places where you can get power for just 2 cents a kilowatt hour. If you'd like to know more about that, ask me down below, but make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Now, reading on. Majority of crypto investors now widely accept that ETH will also receive similar degree of demand from institutional investors across the U.S. market in the week ahead. I agree with that. I think short to mid-term, you're going to see these institutional investors buy up, but I think you're going to see them then begin to control. They're going to try to gobble up as much as they can so they can have the best control. So what we're doing basically is they're going to take what we as a community want to see it untainted, and they're going to put it into TradFi. They're going to put it in traditional finance, and they're going to control it, and they're going to monopolize it. That's what they're going to try to do. But is there going to be a huge increase in value on the way up while they're doing that? Because greed's going to set in, and they're going to battle with each other to see who's got the most and who can buy it the highest, etc. The winners are going to be who's in Bitcoin now and ride that up, and then we'll need to know when they pull out, right? What's going to happen is if they begin to manipulate Bitcoin so much, and people begin to abandon it and pull out of it, then it will be just like the dollar. It'll just be falsely propped up by institutional buyers, right? And in this sense of the dollar being countries and institutions both buying up long and short-term debt for the United States to support our debt. To front-run the upside born from the billions of expected inflows in ETH ETF markets, open Monday 27. The largest investors at Ethereum networks have been spotted making significant purchases since the ETF's approval date. The sentiment chart below shows real-time changes in balance of ETH coins controlled by the top 1,000 largest wallets. So I'll put this article down below. You can finish reading it yourself. I just want to kind of get the guts out of it, what we're talking about. You can kind of come back up here at the very top, and we'll hit the bullet points. Ethereum ETF, price surges above 38.50 as of May 26, in hopes of another bullish week ahead, right? The top 1,000 Ethereum wallets have accumulated within 510,000 ETH over the last 5 days since the ETFs have been approved. And investors await influx of funds into the newly approved ETH spot ETFs. The next major resistance cluster will be at the 4,200 mark, projecting heading towards that $5,000 mark. Now, I think it could get there. And honestly, we've been day trading it, and we're kind of waiting for it to come back down a little bit to buy back in again, right back up. But I think it can get to that 5,000. I think it will increase. But I don't think it's going to do the same thing that Bitcoin did. Why? One, Ethereum is a lot more expensive than BTC is when you're buying in or selling it, right? So you have your costs are much higher with Ethereum. You also have the problem that Ethereum right now is under the eye of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. It's interesting they approved the ETH ETF. However, they're also investigating them to see if they violated SEC laws, and that they're now, since they've decentralized and got proof of staking is not in fact now qualified under the Howey test a share. Now they're getting set back a little bit because Congress passed this law, this crypto law recently, right? They're kind of backing off the SEC and kind of aligning more the board of options trading and so forth and commodities to regulate crypto, right? Not the Securities Exchange Commission. And there's some battle going on there, and there's going to be some legal issues on that. The SEC's already come out and said they're going to fight that. it's all about control right now. And I think that Ethereum is going to go through some growing pains still because they did make that transition. See, the difference is Ethereum is a centralized blockchain, where Bitcoin is not. It's a decentralized blockchain, much more difficult to manipulate. All the big players have to do is become the stakers in Ethereum, and they can control I mean, there's more to it than this, but they can become the stakers. They can have complete control over Ethereum. They can then become the law of Ethereum. So yeah, I think Ethereum is going to take off. I think Ethereum might be their pet because I don't think they're going to be able to break Bitcoin completely. They can break Ethereum completely, but they're not going to be able to break Bitcoin completely because of the centralized and decentralized characteristics that both of them or each one of them bring to the table. I do not feel that Ethereum will be the same as Bitcoin and be as widely adopted going forward as Bitcoin will be, is, and will be. Only because Bitcoin, as long as the miners stay in there, Bitcoin is very, very difficult to overthrow Bitcoin. Much simpler to overthrow Ethereum since they went off proof of work, and I hope that teaches them a lesson. And anybody else out there who wants to stay out of SEC or government arm reach, you're going to have to jump in those GPUs or you're going to get those ASICs. You're going to have to go proof of work. DeFi team, hey, please subscribe, like. We'll see you in our next video.